Well, the wildfires continue to ravage several parts of Mossel Bay. The authorities are currently attempting to contain the blaze. Let's get the latest now, and our reporter Sipha Kema alongside video journalist Siyabonga Nqayana. They are now at the Joint Operations Center, and this is where the mayor is understood to be located. Sipha, good evening to you once again. And the understanding is that, at least from what we know, there have been no evacuation calls for the people of Mossel Bay. But is that going to still remain the situation given what you showed us earlier?
Well, that's the question we're going to pose now to the MMC for Community Safety, Mr. Leon van Dijk. But we do know that earlier on, when the fires had started on Monday, there were evacuation calls or alerts that were issued by the municipality to ensure the safety of the residents. Now, thank you so much, Mr. van Dijk, for joining us on Newzroom Afrika. I mean, we've been out there on the ground and we're seeing the work and the efforts that have been put in, but that wind, as well as those fires, are just becoming a bit uncontrollable. Now, the key question is, from Monday, we know that there were evacuation alerts and notices that came out and they subsided. Are we going to expect anything of the sorts going forward?
Well, we are quite concerned at this stage, as you rightfully mentioned. The factors that had contributed to the issues is definitely the terrain, definitely the temperature, and definitely the wind speeds. So when we originally started on Monday, we were running speeds of 70 to 21 kilometers an hour, and that went up rapidly to 57 kilometers an hour at some point. So you've got ravishing winds at this point in time, which dries everything out. And of course, the terrain is the other issue in terms of the fires. So you've got fynbos, you've got dry wood all over, you've got dry grasslands, and so that's a recipe for issues. So yes, we have evacuated. We evacuated on Monday night. We had to remove people, unfortunately, at some of the houses, which was also unfortunate. But that's what you have to do when you have to ensure the safety of your community. So it's been an ongoing task. We've had help and assistance from neighboring towns. But they can only do so much because they have to also return and make sure that their logistics and manpower is in order. So at this stage, we have the help of the district municipality, we've had help from Esakwa, and we've also had help from George. Tonight, possibly, we are trying to get the assistance from Oudtshoorn and a few other towns in the vicinity, so that the other towns are also replenished in some way for their own efforts.
Now, we know it's been dry when it comes to rains and not having sufficient water supply. I mean, there have been issues of water supply in areas like George and Knysna as well. Now, when it comes to the resource of having the water, we saw the helicopters swooping in a certain pond and gathering the water. Do you have enough water to ensure that you continue with putting out these fires?
Yes, the current stand of the dam that we use is on 60%. But we're also lucky that we have other resources in terms of Mossel Bay. In other words, where we turn salt water into some fresh water. So we are very, the desalination, not a factory, but the location. And so that helps us to bring in more water in terms of resources. And then Petro SA also runs a line. And we've also now moved over to sewage water, which is grey water, but which is cleaned up, which we're also now applying to where we can. So we're not trying to waste the water resources. But do we have, it's difficult. Yes, we have. Do we have it to spend this on fires? No, certainly we don't. But that is the price you have to pay, unfortunately, to make sure that you are protecting life and property.
And Mr. van Dijk, do we have any numbers yet? As you said, you've evacuated some people, homes that have been maybe burnt down. We've seen with reports as well as the WhatsApp channel for the municipality that there were homes that were destroyed and gutted by these fires. Do we have an estimate in numbers of people that have been displaced?
Yes, we do. Although it's difficult to give you exact figures, at this point in time, we are aware of at least 11 homes that have been destroyed, and those people have lost everything. So 11 homes, we would say run about 35 structures, which would include the homes. But that's now, and we are still assessing to make sure that we do get the correct numbers. We were fortunate in the sense that we've had no loss of life and we've had no injuries except for one. And it was a lady that it happened after the actual fire. She stepped into a hole and then endured third-degree wounds. And so that's what happened. 5 fighters, 3 injured, and 1 still in hospital with regards to smoke inhalation.
All right, thank you.
We've been very lucky so far.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Van Dijk. There you have it, Xoli, coming from the Mossel Bay municipality, talking to Mr. Leon Van Dijk, MMC for Community Safety, giving us an update on the ground regarding the fires that are ravaging through the coastal town. And also, of course, as I mentioned, we saw it when we were coming into Niza already. The smokes were up and about, but we'll continue on the ground, bringing you more from Mossel Bay.
Sipha Kema, thank you very much indeed for that update. She is keeping a close eye on the situation there.